next in the junior Heat 1 earlier on. We saw James Anagnostionis back on top form. Enea Pizzuto, the pole sitter, finishing in P2. Still a very strong result. Jan, that they are having to deal with as the engines fire up and the drivers make their way out onto the circuit. Let's take you through the starting lineup then for qualifying Heat 2. It's Enea Pizzuto on pole position with Leonidas Peruzzi alongside. James Anagnostionis, the winner from the first heat earlier on, starts on row 2. We'll have Victoria Farfus on alongside. Then it's Angelina Simmons from Jan Mikuleshko on row 3 with William Marshall and Ella Hakkinen on row 4. Ella Hakkinen retiring earlier on in the first qualifying heat. Connor Clancy and Axel Nocom round out row number 5 and the top 10. We have Kasper Reipold and Isaac Say on row 6. Kees Aziza and Dinia Islamov round out row number 7. They'll have Sofia Pavaznaya and Flavio Calia on row 8. Vanessa Shilkanate and Egon Prodotti round out the top 18 on row 9. Oscar Gallen and Toby Gale go from row 10 with Mateus Witwer and Marcel Scabella on row 11. Karine Kaur and Amru Abington round out row 12. They'll have Konstantin Paps and Sarmat Soy on row 13. Clelia Sodu and Nilis Malik go from row 14 with Sanjana Dandu and Michaela Hart rounding up the top 30. Then it's Vera Juland and Xavier Dudkowski, Sujana Dandu and Emilia Vishamieska, Zachariah Dole and Christian Ebras, who round out the 36 kart field on circuit. All 36 drivers have made their way out onto the track, which is good to see. And hopefully we can get this race started first time of asking. There you can see the mechanics stand filling with mechanics and some drivers as well. There's a look at the intermediate classifications through the qualifying heats phase. Like we're saying, Anagnostionis, Pizzuto, Mikuleshko, Simmons, Reipold and Marshall round out the top 6 at the moment with Kees Aziza and Connor Clancy, who finished within the top 8 in the first qualifying heat earlier on. It's qualifying Heat 2 on day 2 here in the Champions of the Future Academy program, and the lights go green and we are racing. Great start for Pizzuto at the front of the field, gets away well. Remember, was nervous going into these qualifying heats, but no need to be nervous at all. It was a P2 earlier on, and right now holding on to the lead. There is a little bit of a contretemps in the background there. Some drivers taking to the grass, one of them going very slowly. Looked like it possibly could have been the driver of the 15, which could have been Nilis Malik, but hopefully back on track right now. Drivers going through, and Anagnostionis immediately on the offensive here is trying to get through on the inside. Marshall's got himself up into 3rd place. That's a lightning start there as we see everyone dive through. Angelina Simmons there in P4 as well is with this leading group as down the inside goes your new race leader, James Anagnostionis, down the inside. The same as Marshall, he goes through, and it looks like across the line, it looks like Simmons got through as well. Yes, indeed. So Simmons now up into P3. We go on board with Ella Hakkinen, right in the slipstream there of Kees Aziza in the number 44. Wheel to wheel there, just getting down the inside of, I believe, Axel Nocom there as they battle away. The number 21 dropping down a few places here. Optimal inside line as you go in towards turn 7. This was just ahead of where she had the moment earlier on, which was at post number 5. No dramas this time around at this point of the race. Tucking in right behind there, you can see Jan Mikuleshko's not had the best start this time around. Finished 3rd earlier on, and now has dropped down the order just that little bit into P10, P9 area. To the inside, Simmons on Marshall, now moves up into P2. Angelina Simmons is on a charge here to try and close in to James Anagnostionis, who has broken away by nearly 0.4 of a second. Marshall still there in 3rd, Pizzuto holding on to P4, but keep an eye because Leonidas Peruzzi is right there in P5 and is closing in. Well, we're going to lap 3 now, and as we see here, Peruzzi, we were just saying him closing in. Clancy still there in P6 as well. Victoria Farfus there in 7th place. See her, the number 14, Reipold just behind. Kees Aziza and Ella Hakkinen now rounding out the top 10 on circuit. You can see here, though, the battle for P4 is on. Looking to the inside here. Unsafe and down the inside. Connor Clancy gets through on Pizzuto. Nicely done there and calm and controlled. Next position there would be the likes of Pizzuto. Pizzuto's just that little further ahead now, a little bit of breathing space between the two of them. Simmons right now has not been able to close that gap up to Anagnostionis, but it looks like it's come down considerably here. This is a replay on board, down the inside. Oh, Jan-Rikke, let's go there. That was the driver that we saw going a little bit wide at the exit of turn at number 2. And this was down the inside, getting through. Nicely done on Kayser and pushing away. And there was actually a cut there on the exit of turn number 14. That was Egon Pedrotti, I believe, the Italian. Unfortunately, we didn't see what happened, but he is out of this race. Down the inside, big send there for Casper Reipold, trying to get down the inside of Peruzzi, but that's not worked out. We'll have to stay behind here as we're going to see a change for the lead. Angelina Simmons takes the lead of this race on lap number 5. She has now got past Anagnostiadis and has moved up now 4 places into the race lead here. This is absolutely superb. Earlier on, Angelina Simmons, I don't think we mentioned her a lot in qualifying Heat 1. She did finish in P4 earlier on, so it was a good result, but it was just right now. The pace has come alive in this one, as unfortunately Denia Isimov's day goes from bad to worse. Retirement earlier on, now in this race sees a 5-second time penalty being attached to that warning flag. Eyes on this top battle here, because there's no room given whatsoever between these two. Anagnostiadis back to the inside through turn at number 2, and Marshall goes through as well. And again, it's so easily done. Here comes Conor Clancy down the inside. Pizzuto's dropped down to P5. He's now latched on to the back of this one, so still part of this battle is Enea Pizzuto. So we'll keep a close eye as this race goes on. But the top 5 still very close right now. P6 still Reipold, Peruzzi, Farfus, Hakkinen now up into P9. Kayser into 10th place. As Gale there, Toby Gale looking strong just behind this battle here. This is Ella Hakkinen on the rear bumper of Victoria Farfus. Out of turn 14, through the kink of turn 15. They come onto the flat part of the circuit now. From here, it's a little bit uphill through turn 1. Are we going to see a move to the inside? The answer to that is no. Staying behind. These two very, very close all season between these two. They've had good battles throughout it at Cremona and, of course, at Valencia. Now as well here in Franciacorta. Back here, though, change for the lead. Marshall now in the lead of the race. He's got through past James Anagnostiadis. He's pushing himself up now. These two have found themselves in a little bit of the rhythm here. Angelina Simmons sees herself in 3rd place with a gap now of 0.6 of a second. But Marshall's going to go defensive here. He's going to squeeze Anagnostiadis to the outside. We are on lap 7 of 8, so we are going on to the final lap. Could we get another 3-cut battle, 4-cut battle for the lead here on this final lap? Marshall leads the way, hugs the inside line. Clancy is up into 3rd place. Reipold's up into 4th. Angelina Simmons has dropped down to P5 now. Again, hugging that inside line goes William Marshall. He's yet to win a qualifying heat this weekend. Can he do so now? With that, he would be 10 points behind Anagnostiadis in the intermediate classifications. But if Anagnostiadis gets past, he'll have maximum points again and the 25 championship points, but he's still in line to get that. But if we can back him up into Clancy and Reipold, it might help him out here. Out of turn 13, there's happenings going on at turn number 5. We'll find out who that is in a moment. As down the inside, it's a late lunge for Anagnostiadis, and it's just not worked out. William Marshall will cross the line. The South African will take the win in the qualifying Heat 2 in the junior category. His first win of the weekend. It is William Marshall across the line. Anagnostiadis takes 2nd place, and with that, 94 qualifying heat points, and he puts himself on pole position for the final. There is what happened in the background. Sujana Dandu collided with, her sister Sanjana Dandu. That is not what you want to see at all. The two sisters off the circuit there. And, well, unsure if they had collided with each other or whether or not that was a different incident. There's a replay of that change for the lead. It was down in towards turn 2. That's where we saw it. And there was a beautiful little switchback there for Angelina Simmons. That got her back up into 3rd place. At one point, she did fall down to P5, which is still okay because she didn't lose any places from that one. She started P5. She ended it in P5 Well, drivers will make their way back into Parc Ferme. William Marshall, James Anagnostiidis and Connor Clancy, though, are your top three. Raipol finishing in P4 ahead of Angelina Simmons. Enea Pizzuto, not the results I suspect he will have wanted, drops down to P6, but still a very strong performance. Leonardo Peruzzi ahead of Casey Ziza, Victoria Farfus from Toby Gale. Ella Hakkinen finishes in P11, down 3 places in that one. Gale with an impressive 10 places gained. Mateusz Witwer, 9 places to finish in P12 ahead of Jan Michalesko in 13th place. Denia Islamov in 14th, but remember, has that warning flag that does come with a 5-second time penalty. Sofia Povazhnaya finishes in the top 15 ahead of Flavio Caria.